Hi everyone, this is Mary Ann Salamo here. I was working in Painter tonight and I thought I'd record a short video for you. Recently I put out a video about Painter and I'm going to just stop and open the program here, and as the program opens I can talk to you about it before the home screen comes on, the welcome screen. So I'm working in Painter, and one of the things that I do love to do in Painter and probably will be hard for me to figure out in Photoshop, I am going to attempt that, a version of pen and inkter. So I'm going to open up this and while we have the home screen open again, let's talk about the store again. I mentioned in a previous video there are some sales going on in the store which concern me. We haven't gotten a new version of Painter in 2 years now, but undaunted, I'm going to continue to work in the program. But if you are looking to add brushes onto you, this might be a good chance to do that. So on with the image, you go here, document, and it usually has a stack of images that you've recently worked on. And excuse me if my voice is a little harsh. I take some medication in the month of February and then I lose my voice in the month of March and I get it back in April. So hopefully you can stand my croaking for a while. I apologize. So I'm going to open this called Cartoon Mere Words. And basically I was thinking to myself, how would I, if it was a piece of paper, how would I do pen and ink? So I'm going to shut off all my layers, and then if I toggle my tracing paper, you can see I could see a faint image of myself that I worked on in Photoshop. If I turn the mask all the way to 100, you get a white piece of paper. You can't see. You can see that embedded here, also in the image itself. But if you turn it here, if you turn it to about 30%, you can see through it. And then first thing I did was a sketch. And I'm going to shut off the image so you can see the sketch. There is the sketch. From there, then I went to the ink. That is the ink. If you turn off the sketch, that's the ink. Now, if you look here, normally when you do pen and ink, you would put the ink over the pen, and this becomes the issue. I made sure to use a very fine brush, and if I get let's say a blender here, I get a blender, let me find a blender, any blender, give me a blender. Okay, here, do the dab blender, and I'm on the ink layer. I'm going to shut everything else off. I'm on the ink layer. If I hit it with the dab blender, I might blur it. So how do you color over that? And we're gonna do undo, 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 undo. In a future video, I'm going to show you how to make a palette. I find them extremely useful for finding certain brushes. As you can see on top, I'm going to change the brush so it doesn't look like a big claw grabbing the tab. So you see here I have portrait 1 and then painting specific. This is a palette I'm building to put brushes where I have specific needs when I'm painting over a photograph. This one is when I'm painting a portrait, particularly the face. And this one that says drawing is tools that I'm playing with for this pen and ink technique. And I'm also working on a sketch technique in the same fashion where you put the sketch on top. So depending on the colors you use, and you see I'm not using a watercolor layer. I'm still exploring this new watercolor layer here, this new thick paint layer. A new layer can take any brush, and that's another video that's coming short. I think a thick paint layer. I'm sorry, that thick is a hard word for me. A new thick paint layer can only take, and see I just added a whole bunch of them, but we're not going to save what we're doing here. The new thick paint layer, and it's very sensitive, I notice. You can add layers very quickly to what you're doing, and it gets a little annoying. But anyway, and again, I can undo those layers too by just hitting undo. Okay, they're all gone. Oh, no, there's more up there. Undo. Okay, even that. That's why undo right here up in your ear, right where your hand can go boop and hit on. Yeah, that's what I tell my art students. I'm sorry. When I draw a line, I go boop right up here, undo, boop, redo in case you go one too far. So redo is adding the layers back. No, undo, 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 undo. And I believe if you keep undoing, and then you redo, undo, redo, it'll stay at that state. So here is the sketch that I made over the photograph. The ink is on the top layer, not to blend it. I shut off after I ink my image, I shut off the sketch, and then the color goes underneath. And that is a process of finding the right brushes, because like I just explained, some brushes work on a watercolor layer, and then it starts getting complicated. It's hard to blend the brushes, but I'm still playing with different techniques even this late in the game. I've been using the program since 2006. I've been using Painter since 2006. Sometimes it is a process to find which brush does what. I know that Photoshop is catching up in the brush department, and we will see when I make my brush comparison videos to show you again. If you can look on this channel, how brushes work, and I can get even more detailed into that, but that's a simplified video. And that is all these things that you see. What is the difference between a bristle? What is the difference between, and that's an eraser, a sketch. And you can see here, fine pen. And as you go through this, when you click this box right here, and you go through this undaunting task of all these brushes, sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, and I think that's one of the scariest things about it for me personally. In the old days, I could spend 3 hours trying to find a brush, and that's why, if you see here, I created my own, this little stack: MT's Portrait, MT's Paints, MT's Cloners, MT's Blenders, MT's Basic. Creative Portraits is some, I think it might have been a brush set I bought, but I couldn't identify the icon. And this Photo Portrait was an old brush set that I had bought from Corel and changed the moniker. But soon I hope to have my brush packs up on my channel. I separated them by what they do. These are paints, these are cloners, these are blenders. The basics usually have the ones that are very, maybe slightly adjusted from what you get in Painter. These are more abstract brushes, and I am still adding brushes and taking brushes out of the packs and seeing what still works. Because you have to remember, some of these brushes I made back in 2008, 2009. So I hope that you found this video informative. If you would like more information, longer form videos are coming, quicker form videos are coming. Once we get past print competition this week, I promise to be back. And please subscribe to the channel, and see you soon. Take care. Bye.